cash,
squares,
procurement,
which is simple
and non-current
linear
assets. Specific
regression method,
controls.
which is
now,
a
if
cost
you are running
estimation method
business, it is
that
important
requires you
that
to form simple
you put in place
linear regressions of the
controls
form y is
over
equals a plus what?
some of these
bx.
activities, like
Okay,
purchasing,
where
like
a is given by the
non-current
summation of
assets,
y
sales. There has to be
minus b
controls
summation of x
so that the organization does
divided
not
by
lose
who?
money,
n.
so that the
Then the value of b
assets of the organization are
is
safeguarded,
n
and
of x,
so
y
that the
minus
objectives
summation
of an
x
organization
summation of y
are met.
by n
So it's very critical that
x squared
there are
minus the
controls
summation of x. You do
in
what?
purchases,
The
sales,
square.
inventory,
The square.
cash, procurement,
Now
and
the
all
difference
these
between
key
these
areas.
two, the difference between these
So
two
the
is
aim
simply
of these controls
this,
is to
you
minimize
squaring x
risks
individual, but here you
of
first get the total
errors,
of x, then you do
is
what?
to
You
minimize
square. You
fraud
first get the total
and
of
also
x, then you do what? You
inefficiencies.
square. All right.
So you'll be looking at
There are certain
the
steps
controls for these areas one at a time,
we can
beginning with
follow.
purchases.
The steps using your calculator. The steps
Now,
using your
purchases,
calculator.
there are various activities around
And the calculator I want us
purchasing.
to use is
Purchasing, in fact, is a cycle
FX82
which involves
is your
requisitioning,
calculator known
ordering,
as FX82
receiving,
MS.
and even payment of goods or
The
services.
first step there
Before
is
a
always to
purchase is
switch
made
on your what?
in an
Calculator.
organization,
Always to switch on your calculator. That
The
is the first step.
goods that are being purchased have to be requisitioned by a
Once we
requisitioning
have switched on our calculator,
department.
the second step is to
Maybe,
reset
for
your
example,
calc.
the sales department requires
Reset
raw
the
materials.
calculator.
They have to raise a
Reset
requisition
the
note.
calculator.
So that's where it begins.
And
Then after that,
you
then
reset your
the
calculator
company
by
has
pressing. You reset your
to
calculator
place
by
an order.
pressing
Ordering is another
shift
set of activities around
mode
purchasing. After
all,
the goods are ordered from
which is
suppliers,
given by
they are
number
delivered.
3,
There
then
is the
equals
receiving.
equals. That
Then
is
after the
the
goods are
second step.
received,
Resetting
according
your
to
calc.
what was ordered,
Now
if
you
they are
reset
in
your
good
calculator
condition,
because
then
you may
the
have
finance
previously
department
saved
may
data.
then
You may
organize
have
for
previously
payment.
saved data.
So those are the key
That
areas. There
previously
could be
saved
some
data
other
will affect the results of your
activities like
equation. So therefore,
inspection,
reset it
receiving, storage, and all
so
that.
that
But
it doesn't affect the results
requisitioning
of
or
your,
requesting, ordering, receiving,
your
and
current
payment,
result
those are
that
the
you
main
intend.
activities in the purchasing
The
cycle.
third step
So what are the
is
key
to do what?
controls in
Is to
purchases?
set calculator in a
The
regression
first
mode.
one is segregation of duties.
How do you do that?
Segregation of duties. That means
Press mode.
separating individuals
Then
or departments
regression.
for initiating purchase requisitions,
Regression. Then
providing purchase
regression is denoted by number 3.
orders,
Then linear denoted
or
by number
approving
1.
purchase orders, receiving
Step 4.
goods, recording purchases and
Step 4 is
payables,
input your data.
authorizing for payment, and so on. So in
When
the
you are
purchasing
inputting your
cycle,
data, how do you input
there
it?
ought to
You
be
input it in the
segregation
form
of duties.
of X,
The one who
comma,
requisitions
Y,
purchase,
plus.
the
X,
one
comma,
who initiates,
Y,
let me use the word
M
initiate.
plus.
The one who initiates
This
the purchase
M plus
requisition
here
should be not
simply
be the
means
same person or department that approves
memory
the
addition.
orders.
That M
Should
plus
not be the
there
same
means
person
memory
that
addition,
receives
which
the
is the
goods.
same function
Should not be the
like
same
in your
person that
computer, known as
records
what?
the purchases
Save.
and payables.
So this is known as
And
save.
should not be the same person who authorizes for
So you
payments.
add that,
There ought to
or
be
you press
segregation
M plus
of
so that
duties
you can
that are
add
identified.
data
Duties
in your
like
calculator
initiation,
and store it there. And store
purchase,
it there. Then I want us to
requisitions.
do this
Another
December
duty
2024 together.
The
We do this December
approving
2024
of
together.
purchase orders. Approving.
And I want you to show you how we input that data, how we input it.
Or before recording, how receiving goods.
Hope we have reset our
Receiving,
calculator. We have
then there
set up
is
the calculator in
recording.
regression mode. I want to show how now you
If the
input
goods are
it.
not paid, in cash,
X
then
is
there ought to be
1425.
recording
So what do? You're going to press
of the purchases and
1425
payables.
in your
If the
calc.
goods are not paid for in cash, then
The
the
next
company
to
has
the
to record
DEL and
payables,
AC
account
buttons,
payables. These
next
are
to the
creditors.
DEL and AC buttons, you press
Then there is also approval.
12185 and then M plus.
All
M
these
plus.
duties have to be
Remember,
separated.
the comma
They
and
have
the
to
M
be
plus are
segregated.
slightly above
They
the
may be
DEL
carried out
and
by a
AC
department
buttons,
or
slightly
an
above the
individual.
DEL and AC
There are companies that
buttons.
have
If you press
departments for
1425,
requisitions. There are companies that have departments for
12,
receiving orders. It depends on the
185,
company, but
M plus,
they should
N
be
should give you 1.
segregated. So
N
that's
is
the
equal
first
to 1.
control.
The
in
next
the purchase
observation is
cycle.
950, comma,
Number
9875 M plus.
Authorization
So that is the second observation.
and
The third observation is 1190.
authorization and
10
what
for
has to be authorized and
10,
approved. We may have the purchase requisitions.
10 for
For example,
50
the purchase
M plus. The fourth one is
requisitions must be
1690,
approved.
comma,
Purchase
15
requisitions have to be approved.
280 M plus. 1006.
This requires proper authorization for all purchase requests based on
M
budget
plus,
limits or management
834,
approval.
comma,
We also have purchase orders.
150 M plus.
Purchase orders should also be
982,
authorized and
comma,
approved.
10133.
All purchase
M
orders must
plus,
be authorized by designated personnel,
1259,
ideally with
comma,
a multi-level
11
approval process for
981
larger
M plus,
orders. And
1385,
purchase orders
comma,
should be pre-numbered
12045 M
and
plus,
also properly accounted for.
1420,
Authorization
comma,
and
13180 M plus,
3. The third
1125,
control is
comma,
in relation to
11
documentation.
M plus,
Documentation.
980,
Documentation.
10
It's
431
important to maintain a complete
M plus.
and accurate,
So that's now the last
documentation for
observation
all
of
stages.
980.
Purchase requisitions,
10
the
431
authorized
after
purchase
you
orders,
press M plus, N will be equal to
receiving reports,
12.
supplier
N will be
invoices,
equal to 12. Okay.
payment vouchers.
Then the next
all
step
have
is to obtain
be
your data.
documented. That is a control.
The data
Every
values
aspect
which
has to
are
be
unknown to us.
Every transaction must be
And
supported by
so far,
documentary
you don't know the
evidence.
value of
You understand?
all this. You
Maintaining
also don't know
complete
the
and
values
accurate
of
documentation.
all that.
One.
But
Then there is 2.
since you have
Matching
inputted
the
everything in
three-way
your calculator, you can be able
before
to
payment.
obtain them. And how do you
Matching
do that?
the
You
three-way
simply
match.
press
Matching
shift.
the three-way match. Matching
One. Press
the
shift
three-way
1.
match. Matching
When you press shift 1, the
the
first screen,
three
there's a summation x
way
squared, the summation of x and y.
matching
And
the three-way match
to select
before
any
payment.
value, you press the number below it. For example,
Purchase
when
order,
I want
that
this
means purchase
summation of
order,
x squared, I'm going to press 1,
receiving report,
then equals.
and supplier
equals.
invoice. The 3 must
So that
match
will give me
before
70,
payment is made. That is a control. And
483,
that can only be made possible where
770,
documentation or documents are maintained.
Press shift 1 again.
4.
When I want the summation of x, I simply
There
press
is
2.
a control
then my
in
equal
relation
sign.
to receiving.
14186.
Receiving
Shift 1,
procedures.
then n
Receiving
is given by number
procedures.
3. I remember to press
There
my
ought to be
equal sign.
dedicated receiving
That will
department
give me
with
12.
personnel independent of
That means the first
purchasing and
screen.
accounting.
You can go to
The
the
ones
next
who are receiving should not be
screen
part
by
of those
pressing
who are
shift 1
purchasing,
and
and those
your
who are
arrow key.
accounting.
Shift 1 and your
There
arrow
should
or
be
direction key to
dedicated
the
department
right.
just for receiving
In
of
the
these
calc, there are
purchases.
4 buttons just on top of your calculator.
Then there should also
Between
be
alpha
creation
and
of
mode,
numbered receiving
between
reports.
alpha and
This
mode, the
receiving
4
should
direction
also
is there.
be
So you're pressing shift 1 and
backed up
moving
with
to the right.
documentation. Goods
Such
received
that
notes. This
summation
department
of
should
y
have the
squared
goods received notes. Because when
can
goods
be
come in,
obtained
they
by
have to be
pressing
stamped receipt.
1, then
A
equals
copy is given to the one who delivered, and the copy
70,
is maintained in the
811.
company. These goods received not have to be
shift 1.
pre-numbered,
The summation of
not in
y, move
quantity,
with your
condition,
direction
and
key.
even
The summation of
discrepancies.
y
And there ought to also be prompt inspection of goods
is
for quality and quantity. When the goods are received, they have the quality of the goods has to be checked. The condition of
535.
the goods, the quantity of the goods should be in accordance to what was
XY.
ordered. So that is a control in relation to receiving of the purchases, receiving procedures.
Now, if you look at your formula for B here,
then the second purchases,
this here. This is the only item you
controls.
don't have. But since we know the summation of X,
let's
we
move
simply
on to
square
the 5 control, which is invoice processing and
the
payment.
summation of X squared,
invoice processing and payment.
14,186.
Now, before payment is made, there ought to be verification of invoice accuracy against purchase orders and the goods received. There should also be checks
that is when you use
mathematical
shift
accuracy
1,
on invoices.
or that is how you use shift 1.
And also timely recording
to
of
obtain our
liabilities.
values of A and B,
then there is
we
the
can simply
aspect
use
of
what?
authorization
Shift 2.
of payments only after proper matching,
and we move with the direction key twice to the right.
Payment is made, there ought to be proper matching,
and move to the direction key twice to the right.
Requisition,
starting
is it
with
what was ordered, is it what was received?
You're going to press the number below that, which is 1, then equals
analyzed
295
and also checked for
shift
accuracy.
2. B, the number below that is
and
2.
There ought to be use of
then
numbered checks or electronic transfer authorization. That is in relation to payment.
2.
Then lastly, we have master file.
The
master file, supplier master file controls.
Is equals A plus supplier what? BX. The value of A is 3709.295 plus 6.4.
The supplier master file
912
controls.
6.
There should be strict controls over adding or amending supplier details
is how
in the system to
we
prevent
form equations using what? Simple linear regression.
In companies
using simple linear regression what?
Grappling with this problem.
Right.
Where
the next thing we should be doing, I should show you,
names of our suppliers are included in this master files.
You're going to deal with multiple regression,
where a company can lose a lot.
Regression.
So there ought to be strict controls over adding
we'll come back to evaluation.
Supplier details in the system to prevent creation of fictitious
we need
suppliers.
to evaluate,
and there ought to be independent review of new supplier setups.
Regression equation. But before that, let me show you how we deal with what? Multiple regression.
Controls.
Before we come to the evaluation, let's talk about multiple regression. Multiple linear regression method.
Now let's move to
regression.
Specific sales
with
control.
Multiple linear regression method here.
Sales.
This is a regression method where you use it when you have more than one independent variable X.
Now,
when we talked about simple linear regression here,
X
like is only 1, y is equals a plus b, x is only 1 independent variable. But it is possible that you have more than one factor affecting your costs.
Billing, cash collection, and so on.
So where you have more than one independent variable factor affecting your
most
costs,
likely on
you're going to introduce the
various
concept
activities
of
around
multiple
the
linear regression method, but your equation is still a straight line. It must be of the form y is equals a plus b1 x1 plus b2 x2 all the way to
before you sell to customer, you have to receive an
represents your independent variables. How many independent variables are there? So if you have an independent variable for who? For income, you will have
then
it.
There ought to be
if you
credit
have an
approval before you
variable for
supply
age,
to
you're
a
going to do
customer
what? To have it. So either way,
there has to be an
this
approval
is how
process
you
to
form
find
a
out whether
regression
that customer
equation.
deserves to be sold.
That is the general form of your regression what?
That's what I'm calling credit approval.
Equation of more than one independent variable.
Then there is
more than one independent
delivery. We sometimes say shipping.
Right.
Delivery.
Once that is done, I want to show you how you do what?
Stage.
How?
After the goods are delivered to the customer, there is billing. How do you do the
equations?
billing?
How you're going to form predictor
then there is cash
equations.
collection.
So I want us to go to the settings question.
Activities in the
I want us
sales
to go to
cycle,
the settings question.
but our focus is on controls. So what are the specific controls?
4B.
Now, one control
question
is in relation to just segregation
April
of
2025.
duties. I've mentioned some of the activities. There ought to be segregation of duties.
Global Logistics Limited has two
There ought to
operating
be separate
segments,
individuals or
Longonot
departments
and
for order
Zoya.
entry,
Longonot
for
division
credit
orders
approval,
most
for
of
shipping goods,
its
for
consignment
billing
of
or
immediate
invoicing,
output
for recording
from
sales and
Zoya
receivables,
division using
for cash
economic order
collection and
quantity model.
depositing.
The managers
All
of
those
each
activities
division are
should be
given
handled by
considerable
different
autonomy in
individuals. That's
transfer
what we are
pricing
referring to
policies.
as segregation
Longonot
of
division
duties.
managers want to use multiple linear
Two,
regression analysis to evaluate the significance of the
authorization
independent variables on material handling of cost of its
and
consignments.
approval.
And they also say the
Authorization
finance director of
and
Global
approval.
Logistics has availed the following data
All
for
sales on credit
Longonot
must
Limited.
be approved by
For
the
the
credit
past 10
department
months,
before
you
goods are
have your
shipped.
month, your material handling cost is Y, number of orders
Number
is
three, we
X1,
have
number of kilograms is
sales
X2.
returns.
The computer output is as follows. So you
Sales
have that note number 1. Then analysis of variance
returns
table, you
stock
also have it there as number
allowances.
2. And number 3, then
Sales
required, write down the
returns
multiple
stock
linear regression
allowances.
function
That
of y is equals to
requires
a plus
proper
b1
authorization. There
x1
ought
plus
to be proper authorization for all
b2 x2.
sales returns
So
or
allow me
allowances
to
to
copy this
prevent
table.
fictitious
There are two
returns
tables, or
or
rather there are 3
unauthorized
tables
write-offs.
that I will need to copy so that I show you how you
Another control
get
around
these
sales
works.
is
This
pricing.
is called an ANOVA table. It's the one I want to
Pricing.
copy, which
There
is
ought
what
to
we
be
refer to as
authorization
analysis
of
who?
pricing.
Variance.
There ought to be authorization in relation to discount
Analysis of variance table.
and even just
I'm copying
terms to
these so
ensure
that I can show
adherence to
you
company policy.
how you obtain your various what?
To ensure adherence to company
various equations
policy.
When you're given an ANOVA table.
You understand?
When you're given an ANOVA table, I want to show you how you get your regression.
Documentation.
Equation. So you have your regression. Regression is also known as model.
There should be in place pre-number sales orders
is also known as
and even shipping documents like delivery notes and sales invoices. 9. Those ought to be pre-numbered, and the company should maintain a comprehensive audit trail for all sales transactions.
613.
There is also the question of delivery or shipping. Shipping, let me say, shipping procedures.
200. 17.
Shipping procedures.
30. 65.
Goods
10.
Shipped only upon receipt of
9.9.
Let me say receipt of an authorized sales order.
0.06.
Goods should be shipped only on receipt of an authorized sales.
Then you have your
order.
Parameter estimate table.
Before you deliver goods to a customer,
you will have your variable.
That delivery must be based on an order that was made by the same customer.
Coefficients, standard
and
error,
the shipping documents should be pre-numbered. The pre-numbered shipping documents
of your intercepts, X variable 1,
generated for all shipping or deliveries.
5 of 7.
There should be pre-numbered shipping documents
0.3097
that are generated for all deliveries, confirming quantity and description of goods dispatched.
5162.
Then, as a control, also there ought to be periodic reconciliation of shipping documents with sales orders and invoices.
57.
7. 7.
That is
control
Z.
Is in relation to billing procedures or invoicing.
0037.
Billing procedures or invoicing.
8 points.
There ought to be timely and accurate invoicing based on the goods that are delivered and authorized prices. There should also be matching of sales order, shipping documents or deliveries, and also sales invoice before invoicing or billing. You have to match all those documents before invoicing. Of course, we have to mention automated checks for pricing and quantity on invoices. That is also a control. Then number 9 or number 8, we have accounts receivable management. Accounts
use a different color pen.
Receivable.
That is Z.
Management.
That is it.
Accounts receivable management. There ought to be regular reconciliations of accounts receivable subsidiary ledger to the general ledger,
part of that
and
question,
also periodic review of aged accounts receivable reports and follow up.
Write down the multiple linear regressions. The form Y is
still under accounts receivable. There ought to be authorization for bad debts write-off by independent personnel. So these are some of the
plus B1 X1 plus
specific
B2 X2
controls on sales.
The first thing you realize is that X1.
Let's move on to the third component,
X2,
which is
you must be
inventory.
Okay. And also
controls on inventories or stock.
Where we know X simply means the independent. Y
inventory controls are crucial for safeguarding assets and
X1 is number of orders.
Accurate financial reporting. And some of the key controls in inventory are
X2
physical
is
controls.
Number of kilograms.
1.
You must select those two.
Physical
number
controls.
Of kilograms.
If a company has inventories, then there ought to be in place physical controls.
Why is your material handling cost?
Restricted access to the stock.
Why is your material
limiting
handling
access
what?
to inventory
Cost,
storage areas to authorized personnel only.
So why? B,
There ought also
you know,
to be
A
secure storage,
is normally the
like
what?
using locks,
The independent
security
variable,
alarms, surveillance cameras, and so on.
known as the intercept
That is
of
physical
Y,
controls.
and the intercept of Y is
Restricted
here.
access, secure
Intercept
storage.
of the coefficient. So
We also
Y
have
is
physical
5
segregation.
0.309
That means
7 plus
separating different types of inventory. For example,
the
raw materials
coefficients
from
of
work in progress.
X1 and
Separate
X2 are the ones you're going to refer to as your what? B,
the finished products and
B.
so on.
So B1 here
That's
will be
what I'm calling physical segregation.
7.8
A company may have
35162
stock of raw materials,
X1
stock of work in
plus
progress, and stock of finished products. Those should be
10781
segregated.
X2 X2. So these coefficients
The company
here
may
are the
even
ones that
have
give
damaged
you
goods.
B,
The damaged goods should be separated
and all
from
the
the
B's. All right,
good
that
goods.
is that. Part 2 of that question.
Then still under physical
Part
controls,
2
you may
of
also
that
have
question.
counting. Physical
They were
counting.
telling us, suppose in the month of
stock-taking,
April, longer not
regular
division
counts,
expected to have 350
performing
orders
periodic physical inventory counts.
with 17,000
It could be an
kgs of
annual
material
count
ordered.
or
Predict the total
cycle
material
counting,
handling cost for the month
and
of
then
April
reconciling them with
2025.
perpetual inventory
So
records.
this second part here is what to refer
So that's
to
the
as
first control
estimation or
over
forecasting.
inventory.
Forecasting is
Physical
where you
controls.
use your relationship here. This relationship is cost estimation. Use this relationship to
Documentation.
predict future what? Cost. So they are simply asking you for your future
Documentation.
what? Material
and
handling
record keeping.
cost.
They should be in place
When you have
pre-numbered
ordered
goods
how
received
much?
notes
You have made 30
for all
orders
incoming inventory.
and received
There should also be
17,000 what?
pre-numbered goods received
kgs.
notes
So you're going to say
or material
Y
requisition forms for
when
all
X
outgoing
is
inventory.
X1
The company should
when
also
X1
maintain perpetual inventory
is equal
records
to who?
that track
350
quantities and values of inventory on
orders,
hand,
and X2
updated
is
in
equal
real
to
time or near real time.
17,000
There should also be
is equal to
detailed records of
17,000.
inventory movements
So you simply
in
now
and
substitute,
out of
the equation
the
of Y
storage.
is 507.3097
3
plus
segregate
7.835162
of
times 350
duties.
plus
Segregation
0.10
of duties is another control over
you are
inventory.
ordering 17 you receive
That means
17,000.
separating duties between
let's work
custody
this one
of
out.
inventory, number 1. Number 2, record keeping of inventory.
507.3097
Number 3, procedures to ensure inventory is valued accurately or correctly,
7.83
and so on. So all those areas should be segregated.
5162 by 300.
Then you have
plus
4 valuation controls.
7181 by who? 17,000.
Valuation controls.
The total cost of
there ought to be procedures to ensure inventory is valued correctly.
Is 46.
Like the first in, first out method,
79,
the last in, last out method, the weighted average method,
3,
and so on.
9353.
Valuation also means there ought to be regular review for obsolete,
how you deal with
slow moving or damaged inventory, and appropriate write downs.
Or how you solve your what? Your equation, eh?
You understand?
All right, or how you form your equation. That is good.
Then I need to also mention reconciliation.
Once you have formed your equation, the next thing we should do is to evaluate what is this equation control good for prediction.
Reconciliation means
or
reconciling
is this equation
of perpetual inventory records with the
squares or
counts.
the simple linear regression.
Could also
is
be
it
reconciliation of inventory sublated to the general ledger control account.
Or if you used to predict future
so these
costs,
are specific controls on inventory.
Are the costs going to be accurate or are they not going to be accurate?
Allow me to move on
and for you to do
specific controls on
you
cash.
Now use various methods of what? Cash. Analysis of what? The regression equation.
What are the specific controls?
There are various methods that we tend to use to analyze your regression
and highly susceptible to
the first
fraud
method
and misuse.
Is what we refer to as
so there ought to be strict controls
we refer to it as
cash.
Economic what? Plausibility.
One control is segregation of duties.
Concept. We are introducing another concept of analysis or analysis and interpretation
segregation of
regression.
What? Just like equation, all the other
analysis
areas.
And interpretation of regression.
Always
okay. Which is still under this.
Separating individuals or departments who one receive cash. Number 2, those who record cash receipts.
And welcome all
Number
to
3, those who deposit cash
platform.
Number
Today
4,
we are
those
going
who
to
authorize
begin
cash
on a new topic.
disbursements.
The subject
and
is
number 5, those who
finance for decision making.
Bank accounts.
Today's topic, budgeting and budgetary control.
Individuals.
This is
there
a new
ought to be
topic
different people carrying out those duties,
which are
receiving cash,
nature and purpose of
cash,
budgets,
depositing
2,
cash,
limitations
authorizing
of budgets,
cash
3,
disbursements,
preparation of budgets,
those individuals who are reconciling
purpose
the
of
bank
budgetary controls
should be
5,
segregated.
Distinction between budgeting and
The
budgetary control in the private and public sectors. Then lastly, cost volume profit analysis. These
cash
are
receipts. They are controls over
the topic
cash receipts.
Budgeting and budgetary control. In this lesson, we are going to focus
on the
over
first
subtopic,
receiving the cash.
Nature and purpose of budget.
There ought to be
nature
prompt
and
record
purpose of budgets. But before we get into the
ought
nature
to be proper
and purpose of budgets, it's
recording
important for
and deposit
all
of
of us
cash.
to understand
That is to mean
the meaning.
that
what is
all
the
cash
meaning
receipts
of
should be recorded immediately upon
budgetary
receipt
control
and deposited
Those are
intact daily.
Budgeting
Another point
and budgetary
over
control.
The cash receipts is that there ought to
So
be
these are two
pre-numbered
concepts:
receipts.
budgeting and
That
budgetary
means
control, which
issuing
are
pre-numbered receipts
interconnected,
for all cash received.
and they form
If you are selling,
the
for
core
example,
of financial
every
planning
customer
and
that buys a book
management
has to
within
be
any organization
issued with a receipt
Any
that
organization
is pre-numbered.
must deal
Then,
with
of course,
these
if
two
you are
issues.
handling physical
Budgeting
cash,
and
then there
budgetary
ought to be what we
control.
call lockbox
We begin by
system.
defining budgeting. What is
That is a control. That is
budgeting?
to mean
Now, budgeting
utilizing
is
a lockbox service
the process
where a
of
customer
creating
payments
a
are
detailed,
sent directly to the bank.
quantified plan
So that
that
is
is
those are
expressed in financial
controls
terms
in
for
relation to
a
receipts.
specific
Then we
period
have
of time.
cash disbursement.
And
Disbursement.
in essence, it is
So if a company that
the
is dealing
activity
with
of
cash, there ought to
preparing
be cash
the
that is
budget
received.
document.
That cash may also be disbursed.
So
So
a
what are the
budget
controls
is
around
a plan.
disbursement?
And we know
The first
a
control
plan is
when disbursing
a
cash is
predetermined course of
authorization.
action.
All cash disbursements,
Every
like
organization
checks,
must have a plan.
electronic
for
funds transfers
financial,
must be properly authorized. Typically requiring
planning.
multiple signatures for large amounts.
Must have a predetermined course
Then,
of action on how
Again, in
it's
relation
going
to
to
cash
get
disbursements,
finances, how
there
it's
ought to
going
be
spend
supporting
finances,
documentation.
and so on.
Payments
so budgeting
should only be made.
Is the process of preparing that financial plan. It involves forecasting the expected revenues on one hand and estimating the required expenses for various activities, various departments, and also projects to achieve organizational goals. Every organization has goals, and these goals require finances. And these finances we all know finances form part of resources. And generally resources are scarce. So it's important to have.
So there ought to be strict